Okay, it's September 14th, 2022. It's 11:30 in the morning. This is Deputy District Attorney Alexander Bott. I'm here with Deputy District Attorney Kathy Taw and DA Investigator Jody Little. We're here to interview witness Kelsey Harris in case BA 490599. Ms. Harris is accompanied by her spouse, Mr. Darren. And sir, could you go ahead and say your full name?
Darren Smith.
And
spell your name for me, please, Darren.
Darien, last name Smith.
And then we also have two individuals appearing by speakerphone. And could you folks just state your name for the recording?
Dominic Kelly. Don Worley with McDonald Worley.
Great, thank you so much.
I will ask them to spell their names, if not now, then later.
You're listening to StreetTV.
It wasn't quite clear to me for the second person. Okay, thank you.
All right.
So we're here to talk about the events that occurred back in July of 2020, July 12th, 2020. And can I call you Kelsey?
Yes.
Kelsey, why don't we just start with how did you come to know Megan Pete?
We met in college. We attended Prairie View University together, and that's where we established our relationship.
So how long had you known her at the time of the incident in July of 2020? How many years do you think?
I would say roughly around 6 to 7 years.
And how would you describe the nature of your relationship? Were you friends? Were you work associates?
Yes, we were friends, and of course, you know, as she grew into her career as an artist, I came along as an assistant or a team player, best friend.
And how long did you work with her as an assistant, would you say?
From 20. I don't know the exact years, but maybe late 2018 or early 2019 up until the incident.
Okay.
And what were you and Megan doing out in Los Angeles on July 12th, 2020?
I actually had returned back to Los Angeles. I had came back from Houston after coming over the coronavirus. She had told me to come back. We were shooting a music video to WAP with Cardi B that week, so that is why we were back in LA.
Okay. And
I want to make a correction. We went back to LA after we were staying in New York for a little while filming. Once the pandemic broke out, we were supposed to travel overseas. Overseas got closed down, so we ended up relocating to LA.
Now, when you say relocating, was the plan that you were going to temporarily be staying in LA for a period of time?
Correct.
Okay. And what was the plan as far as how long you were going to be staying there?
Until the pandemic was, over, until everybody was back free to continue on with their, lives.
Were you guys staying together or in separate?
We were together. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as far as this particular night, was there any event or anything going on?
There was no event, so we had actually got invited by Kylie Jenner to come over to her home to hang out. It wasn't like a party invitation, so we made plans to do that, so we just went and attended Kylie's invitation.
And then going to Tory Lanez, how long did you know him for before this whole thing happened?
We actually had met earlier 2020.
And when you say we, I guess I should probably, when you say we, are you referring to both of you and Meg met him around the same time?
Correct.
Okay.
Early 2020, we attended a brunch, a RocNation brunch, and that's where we all met.
Okay. And then what would you say was the relationship with Tory, between you, Meg, and Tory, up until that night at least?
Everything was okay. There was no issues.
You're listening
the
to
relationship
StreetTV.
between me and Tory, it was one of those situations you flirt. This is somebody that Megan wanted me to, I guess have an involvement with. I ended up catching the virus. Actually, I went back to Houston. Her lease was up with her apartment. Got her apartment situated, caught the virus, and I stayed there. And I guess between that time, Megan and Tory became close. I don't know what the relationship was, but you know, they were with each other often, and that was that.
Okay.
And then you came back out and met back up with them in California.
Correct.
How long would you say you were back out in California before this night in July?
Less than a week, if not a week, less than a week.
Were you staying with Meg at the time?
That's correct.
Okay. And then that night you said you guys got an invitation from Kylie?
We didn't get the invitation that night. We received the invitation at the music video,
Okay.
which I believe that was maybe 2 days prior to the July 12th, or maybe a day prior to. And so, yeah.
So did you go to Kylie's house with Meg?
Correct. She asked me to come with her.
Okay. Who else besides you and Meg went to Kylie's house?
In our party, our group, it was me, Megan, and her stylist, EJ King.
Okay. And then do you remember about what time you got there?
I want to say around 6, 7 p.m. I believe that's the time we finally got there.
Okay. And so once you got there, what was everyone doing?
So once we got there, it was, you know, I want to say maybe 6 people that Kylie already had present. Megan volunteered to cook nachos, and so she actually began to cook nachos, and we were all outside just interacting, and then we began to play beer pong.
Oh, there's a pool outside too, right?
There's a pool.
Okay. So you guys were all hanging out. You said Kylie had maybe about 6 or so people there already at the house?
Correct.
Do you know who any of those people were?
Yes. Well, I didn't know them until that night.
Oh, I see. Okay. Were any of them Tory, though, at the time you arrived?
No.
Okay. Who were the other 6 people, if you remember?
So her 3 best friends, I believe one, his name was Faye or Phi. Well, the other guy, I can't remember his name. There was a female friend of hers, Kris Jenner's husband or boyfriend, Odell Beckham, and Odell Beckham's friend. Actually, 9 people. And then a guy by the name of, what's his name? Their sons to a celebrity was 2, so 9 people.
Okay. So everyone's hanging out. Sounds like everyone's having fun. People were drinking?
Yes.
Okay. And then what goes on as the night carries on?
So, you know, we were playing beer pong, having a great time. Played, you know, she has a basketball court out there also. We played basketball. Megan was cooking. She came out, and she was just like, oh, y'all are having fun without me. And we were like, well, come join us, you know. And so she joined us. We were all enjoying ourselves. Of course, we ended up into the pool, having fun, enjoying ourselves from there. Everybody's still having fun, drinking, consuming alcohol. And that's kind of when the night just began to, I guess, go left a little.
Okay. And when you say go left, what do you mean?
So it was a point of time where I lost my conscience, and due to the alcohol consumption.
Do you know? I mean, it's hard to say because you're losing consciousness, but do you remember about what time it was?
We weren't following with the time, honestly. We weren't following up with the time. We were having a great time.
Did you get a sense of how long you'd probably at least been there before you started, you know, maybe kind of losing out on?
I would say about maybe 10, 11, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I'll say that. That's not, I don't know how accurate that is.
Okay.
So by the time I came back to my senses, Tory's now here, but everybody's gone. Everybody's gone, and so now it's just me, Megan, Tory, EJ, the stylist, and Kylie, of course.
Do you
You're
have
listening
any
to
sense
StreetTV.
of what time it was when you came to?
No, again, I wasn't following up with the time. So
But you were like awake and lucid when Tory showed up?
when Tory, I wasn't there. Like, I didn't know when Tory showed
Okay.
up. I can't tell you what time Tory showed up. To my knowledge, Megan called a few people on FaceTime and asked him to come over.
When you kind of came to, though, you saw him there. How were you feeling there at that point? As far as
I was aware. I
Okay.
was okay.
Okay.
So now we're still in the pool. It's Kylie, Tory, and Megan, they're kind of in like an area. I'm actually in the hot tub at this point. I believe that was a hot tub. I can't remember if that was a hot tub or just a smaller pool she has. EJ is sitting, she has like a cabana style setup. Mm-hmm. He's sitting over there on his phone. So we're all just kind of just minding our business. You can hear at the end of the pool, Megan is just like laughing uncontrollably. You know, and it wasn't normal. I never heard her laugh like this, so you can kind of tell something was wrong. Tory did call for my name, and I acted like I didn't hear it. And Megan was like, no, come back. I heard that, but Tory was going between Megan and Kylie. And EJ said, Kelsey, it's time to go. Like, let's go. It's getting late. The alcohol consumption, it's time to go. So I said, okay, I told Megan, hey, let's go. And she didn't want to leave. So I just went upstairs. I was going to go pack our suitcases because Kylie had, when we got there, Kylie led us to a room where we can change and hang out and sleep or whatever. So I went upstairs to pack our suitcases. They were already packed. EJ had packed them. So I put my, it's like a pajama set on. It's a top and a bottom. So I put my set on. I came back downstairs. I loaded EJ's vehicle, who we rode with. I loaded his vehicle with our suitcases. And, at that point, I went back in. She wasn't ready to go. So me and EJ stayed outside. I sat inside of the car with Tory security.
Do you know that guy's name?
Quan.
Okay.
Quan.
Now, he was security. Was he also basically Tory's driver, too?
Tory's security driver friend. Kind of just playing all of the roles, right.
Did you know him before this date, Quan?
I honestly had never met Quan.
Okay, that was the first time you
That was my first time meeting Quan.
Did you know, was he local to LA or did he travel with Tory? Do you know?
I know he didn't travel with Tory because, like I said, that was my first time meeting him. I don't know when Quan came in or how long they've been acquainted, or he was just there for that night. I can't tell you.
So he had a separate car.
Tory had a separate car.
And that's the car you got into?
That's the car I got into. I sat in the front seat. Quan sat in his driver's seat. And I was actually on FaceTime with my sister, and we were talking, just kind of one of those things like, girl, I can't believe we're here. We used to watch this growing up.
Yeah.
So, we're talking regular talk. And then so EJ says, Kelsey, tell Megan it's time to go. Her wig is coming off of her head. So at that point, it's like, okay, no, we have to go because her appearance isn't, it's not holding up correctly.
Yeah.
So I went inside and I said, Megan, let's go. She didn't even know her wig was coming off. And I said, your wig. So that made her come on and get up out the pool. So Tory stayed in with Kylie. So we come outside. This time, we're making our plans to leave. I guess at some point she tells EJ, no, Tory's taking us home. So they transferred the luggage from EJ's car to Tory's car. And so once they did that, Megan jumped in the front seat. Now Quan's driving, and I'm in the back seat behind Megan.
And EJ just drives off in his own car, right?
Not just yet.
Okay.
So I want to be clear and make sure I'm not losing my... Okay, so once we do that, Megan, she tells Quan to get Tory, it's time to go. So Quan goes in to grab Tory. We stay in the car. Tory comes out and he's like, no, take them home. His demeanor was, he didn't want to get in the car. Why? I don't know.
Tory didn't want to get in the car.
Tory didn't want to get in the car.
Did he seem upset at all?
It wasn't that he was upset. I think he wasn't upset. He just he did not want to get in the car. He didn't want to get in the car with us. Okay. Like I said, at that point, I'm not aware of why. So anyways, we leave. So Tory stays at the house with Kylie. It's me, Quan, and Megan. So we leave. EJ follows out behind us. He goes home. Because there's no reason for him to follow us. He's going home. So as we're leaving, Megan is still doing this laugh. I'm kind of just in the back seat, just I don't know, just in the back seat. And then I guess she realizes that she had left a slipper, a Louis Vuitton slide that she wears. And so she demanded Quan to take us back to Kylie's. And so we pull up to Kylie's house, and everybody's kind of confused. Her security guards are outside, probably like 6 security guards.
Talking about Kylie's security guards.
Correct. And he calls to see if it's okay. We come back, and they let us in. So once they let us in, Megan jumps out the vehicle. I stay in the vehicle. Quan follows behind Megan, so it's just me at this point.
Oh, Quan actually gets out of the car with Meg.
Right.
Okay.
So they're inside. It's for a little moment. Then immediately they rush out. Everybody rushes out.
Who's everybody? Okay.
Tory, Quan, Megan. Kylie, she comes out, but she stays on her porch, or her door entry. So Megan jumps back in the front seat. Tory gets in the car, which is now he's behind Quan. He's behind the driver. I'm still behind the front passenger. And Megan says, sorry, I gotta cuss, but she says, bitch. Kylie said, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And I was like, what? Like, why? And so Quan was like, they were in their
You're
argument.
listening to Street TV.
I guess Tory and Megan. And so what they were arguing about, I don't know. So it was kind of like, whoa, okay. And now we're leaving.
And so Megan's in the front, Quan's driving, you're in the back seat behind Quan.
Megan.
Or behind Megan, and Tori's behind Quan.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're leaving. We're driving, going down the road. Megan is laughing still. It's like an uncontrollable laugh. And just out of curiosity, I want to know what's funny. So I'm like, what is funny? Like, what is going on? And that's when Tory butts in, and he's like, yeah, Megan, why don't you tell your best friend what's so funny? Why don't you tell her how fake you are? And so I'm confused because this was random. And so I said, what? Like, what are you talking about? And Megan's like, Kelsey, don't listen to him. He's just trying to make you mad. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? And, next thing you know, the arguing, began with Tory and Megan. They're arguing, they're taking jabs at each other. He's calling her out her name. He's calling her, like, I've never heard him speak like this,
Do you remember any of the stuff he was saying?
I can't honestly recall, like, verbatim. He was definitely calling her, like, bitches and hoes. And so, I stepped in and I said, you're not going to talk to my friend like that. Like, I don't care what y'all got going on, but you're not going to talk to her like that in front of me. So he got offended, and now me and him are arguing. And we're honestly, when I argue, I can say things that are hurtful too. So he was saying mean things, so I was saying mean things back to him. And
do you remember any of the exchange?
I'm about to get to what I do remember. He began to say, I'm from, like, he just started like, I'm from Canada, like, basically, I guess insinuating that they're gangsters or something. I don't know. I'm from Canada, my nigga. Like, do you know? And I'm like, okay. And like, so, now we're just going back and forth. It's like, I'm going back and forth with him. He's going back and forth with Megan. He said, my nigga, I'll shoot you. And so
He said that to you?
He said that to me. So he reached, like he was going to grab something. He reached towards the middle console, but he never pulled anything out.
Now, can you describe the middle console on the car? There's like I assume like some type of flat cover or lid.
Correct.
And then when he reached towards it, you just saw what? His hand moving?
Yeah, it was just a motion that he reached. He never opened it or, so it was just a motion. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, and if you shoot me, then I guess it's my time to go. Like, and if you shoot me, just know I have people who will ride behind me, in my support. And he's like, he's just talking mess still, him and Megan, me and him. So then Megan, I guess we're on Sunset Boulevard at this time. And Megan demands that's mine.
Your ring. Mine.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Megan demands for Quan to pull the vehicle over. So we pull over, and we're actually by a bus stop. Megan jumps out the vehicle. Tory follows behind her. Quan stays in. I stay in. Because it's just like we're in the middle of a road. Like, we're just arguing. This is, So Tory and Megan, they sit at the bus stop. They have, I don't know what conversation they had, a conversation if any, but when they got back in the vehicle, it was calm. Tory then began to...
When they got back in the vehicle, do you remember where everyone was sitting?
Yes, sorry. Megan got back in the front seat. Tory got back in behind Quan, so behind the driver's seat. So it was calm. Everybody was calm. Tory then began to apologize to me. And he's just like, I'm sorry, Kelsey, you're just a real ass nigga, and I had to tell you. You know, and I'm like, what?
An apology.
Right, and so I'm like, but he's saying it loud. And so Megan can hear this. So that kind of started her back up. So now they're arguing back together. At this point, it's uncontrollable. Can't stop
And
it.
do you remember anything at this point that was being said between them?
At this point, they're arguing about each other's artistry as a career as an artist. She's telling him like you're only this and that because you're on a remix with Jack Harlow, and he's telling her things about her career as an artist, which I can't remember what he was telling her, but they just started hitting each other with their career as an artist. So now we're at the final, the next stop where the incident occurs. And this time Tory demands Quan to let us out. He's like, let these hoes out, let these bitches out the car. This is my car. And so we're like, okay, we'll get out. So he pulled the car over, and everything here transpires. Megan jumps out of her seat, which is the front seat. I open up my door, which I'm behind Megan. And when you're getting out of a vehicle, you're not really just like looking at any direction. You're just kind of getting out the vehicle, Especially, we didn't expect anything to happen next, so we're just getting out the vehicle. I get out of my side, and no sooner do you start hearing gunshots going off. I look up about it was 5 gunshots. I look up maybe at the second and third gunshot. That's when I look up.
You're listening to StreetTV.
And you see Tory. He's now in the front seat. I guess he must have jumped over. It was very smooth transition because we didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. And he's leaning over. The door is open, and he's leaning over like the window.
Which door? Is it the rear door?
The front right. So where Megan was sitting.
Okay, so his door's open. In the
My
driver's side.
My door's open in the back, and the front door is open to where Megan got out. The front right passenger.
Both doors on the passenger side
are open. Correct. So.
And is he shooting through the window or over the top of the door?
No, he's shooting over the top of the door. So
over the top of the door would be the rear passenger door.
The right front passenger. So again, as I said, he must have jumped, or I don't know how he did it because it was very very smooth. And he was leaning over the front passenger door, and she was shooting the gun.
Where were you standing at this point?
At this point, I'm standing kind of like my body's still like to the side behind the door, the rear passenger door. So I would say my left side was the rear passenger, and my right side was kind of like this. Like this is the door, and I'm.
Are you still partially in the car at this point?
No, I'm out of the vehicle. Okay. I'm out of the vehicle. I'm just not around my door yet.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know where's Megan?
So I was about to speak on Megan. So she was walking away when this happened, but by the third, fourth shot, and by the time I look up, she's facing towards us, and I've described it like a deer in headlights. Mm-hmm. I'm short. I'm 4'11". The vehicle is kind of a little raised up, higher than me, so I can't really see. I can only see from her chest up. That's all I can see. But the way Tory was angling the gun is kind of like, it wasn't like straight. It was like, down.
Mm-hmm.
It was down in her direction?
Definitely in her direction. In the air, definitely in her direction. So at that point, we kind of were in shock,
Did you hear him say anything as he was shooting?
He did not say anything.
Okay.
There was no words at that point,
What was Quan doing? Could you tell?
I think everybody was in shock.
Okay, so he wasn't
He wasn't
part
even,
of it.
right here at this point right here, he wasn't purpose. What I'm about to get into next, I can't tell you guys where Tory pulled the gun from. Like I said, the motion when he first threatened me was middle console, but I don't know if that's where the gun was.
But you had said he referenced like shooting y'all earlier while you're in the car, right?
He threatened to shoot me.
As if he had a gun
Correct.
in his control somewhere.
Correct.
Okay.
And so after the shots rang, it was like I said, 5 shots. We kind of froze, and by the time I get back into I snapped. Megan had either crawled or walked or limped over to. She's in a driveway. She's in a driveway on the side of the driver's side. She's in a driveway. Tory sits down.
In the front passenger seat?
In the front passenger seat.
Okay.
He's sitting. I guess just kind of shocked also. So I run over to her. I immediately ran to her. She's the forefront of my thoughts. My job as a friend in general is just naturally is to protect my friend, protect. So now I'm in defense mode on the behalf of Megan. I ran to her. She's on the floor. I never looked at her feet. I never really just got to look at her. I just know when I ran to her and she grabbed me, she had blood. So in my head, she had got shot because shots just went off and she's bleeding. That's what I think. So I see Tory coming around the vehicle. It's dark. Lights are flat, hitting him. It's almost like a scary scene. So again, I'm in defense mode. I see him coming around the vehicle, and in my head, I'm thinking he's about to come over here and attack us.
Do you see whether or not when he's coming around the vehicle if he still has the gun?
I don't believe he had the gun.
Okay.
So like I said, I just thought he was coming over to attack us. So I stepped in between where he was coming to where Megan was, and at that point, that's when the assault between me and him happened. He assaulted me, and Quan then comes he just comes and he picks me up like a little doll, and he's like, "Kelsey, they do this all the time." And I said, "Huh? She's bleeding. She's been shot. I don't know if y'all know she's shot." By that time, he's already to where Megan's at. So, I don't know what goes on in that driveway.
Who comes towards Megan? Is that Quan or Tory?
So initially, Tory comes,
Yeah.
and that's where I stepped in, and we had an altercation. He physically assaulted me, and then Quan came and separated him from
What
me.
exactly did he do when he was assaulting you? Remember?
I mean, everything. My adrenaline was so high. I don't know if he was hitting me with a closed fist or slapping me. It was just it was a physical altercation.
Were you wearing a necklace that night?
I was, and I'm gonna go to that part too. Now Tory's in the driveway with Megan. Quan is holding me. Like I said, he's big. He just picked me up and said, "They do this all the time, Kelsey." And I said, "Huh? No, she's bleeding. She's been shot, to my knowledge." And so I'm still in defense mode. I'm still in, I gotta
You're
protect her.
listening to StreetTV.
So I look up and I see the vehicle is in the middle of the road and it's on. The door is open. So my initial reaction is to cause a distraction, and I jumped into the vehicle and I threw it in jerk, and it worked.
What does that mean?
I just jerked it, made it move,
Okay.
made it move just to get him away from Megan. Because in my head I'm thinking he's over here gonna just attack.
So you got in the driver's seat of the
I
car
did.
and moved it
And
a
I
little
jerked. I made it jerk.
Okay.
I didn't even move it. It didn't even drive or anything. I just made it jerk.
bit? Okay.
And so when I did that, it did exactly what I needed it to do, get Tory away from Megan. And so I don't know how he got to the vehicle. I don't know if he ran or walked, but he got to me really quick. And that's when he started pulling me by my hair. He was pulling me by my hair really hard. And again, I wasn't afraid for my life when the incident was going on with Megan. I was in defense mode. But then I became afraid for my life when he started pulling my hair and my neck, because it was really, really hard. That's when the necklace.
When you said he pulled on your neck, what do you mean?
He was almost I didn't lose my breath, so I wouldn't say choking, but he was pulling my neck and my hair, and then so here comes Quan again, and Quan he's in between us, but Tory has a good grip. He's not letting go. So it's kind of like tug of war at this point with my head and body, and I'm scared. And I kind of dumb myself down just to get him to let me go. And I said, Tory, what are we doing? What are we doing? And when I said that, he released. He let go. And so now Megan is standing. We're all standing at the front driver door.
Did you see how Megan got to the front driver door at all?
I can't tell. No, she just like hopped, walked. I can't tell you, but she was there. She was standing at the front driver door, and Quan, they're just like, get in the car. We didn't like have a pushback about getting in the car because we're in the middle of nowhere. At this point, we don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. We honestly didn't even think about calling 911 at this moment or anything. It was all a blur.
Now, did you have on long nails that night?
I did. My nails were broken off.
Okay.
That was during your
with
fight
the
with Tory?
altercation with Tory,
Okay.
correct. So now we get in the vehicle. Quan gets back in the driver's side. Tory gets in the, now replaces Megan's seat. So he's in the front passenger. Megan gets in where I was sitting, which is now behind Tory. And now I'm behind Quan.
How is Megan looking at this point? Is she crying? Is she upset? Is she scared? Anything? Can you tell?
Megan I was screaming. I was tripping. I was having a panic attacks. Megan honestly was very calm. And that's what made me think that they had a conversation in the driveway where I don't know.
Okay.
That's my assumption, but she wasn't in distraught. I was in distraught more than her, sorry, that just upsets me.
It's okay.
That's okay.
I can get tissue, or if you need a break, just let me know, okay? Let's see if I can get some.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't have tissue, but hopefully the paper towels will work.
Thank you.
Get something done.
That's all right.
I was going around and just no one's at
Thank
the
you.
I already would.
That won't happen again.
And like I said, Kelsey, if you need a break or anything at a moment, or if you want to just get through this one.
No, I just want to get through it.
Okay.
So you said Megan appeared like calm. You were distraught. Let's take it from there.
So she's like, Kelsey, call Ferris, which is, co-manager, manager, person that's with her every day. Sorry, I want to make sure I didn't lose my train of thought. So we're driving down. We were heading home, which was like at the top of the hill.
You're listening
I
to
guess
Street
he
TV.
made a U-turn or took another road off to where we ended up back on, I guess, Sunset Boulevard. I don't know where we're going. Just driving. We didn't really have a destination, but I believe I did say we need to take her to the hospital. So Megan, she says, Kelsey, call Ferris. I had already tried calling Ferris. We had bad signal, so it didn't go through. I had sent a text to her security. I sent a text to her security at the time.
Is that Justin?
That's Justin. And because they weren't answering the calls, so I think I said like help 911, Tory Shot Meg, or
Do you still have that text?
I'll have to go through my old phone and.
I'm going to show you a photograph here. If this is a document entitled Text Message Justin Edison. Just take a look at that.
I believe that's it. I'll have to look at my.
Okay, but that looks like the message that you sent.
Yeah, I don't think it's edited or anything. But.
Okay, so you said help Tory Shot Meg 911.
Right.
Okay.
Mind you, I didn't even know that there was already a call that had been made. So I sent him a text. I think I texted Ferris, Travis Ferris. I think I texted him. I know I dropped him our location. And I also sent a message to my mom, and I was like, help. Just frustrates me because, like, I was really hurt. And they just make it seem like it's mentally, like, nothing. I sent the help message to my mom.
And when you say you were hurt, you were physically hurt, mentally hurt?
I didn't even realize I had bruises, but my adrenaline was so high. When I say hurt, I mean emotionally.
Yeah.
Like,
Were you scared
I
too?
was scared, like.
What were you scared about when you're in that?
I don't know. I just was scared, like everything that had just happened, you know.
Do you remember what you texted your mom?
I think I still have the messages. It was on Facebook Messenger. Because my mom, she's an Android, so like she's always on Facebook, so I knew she could see it. I think I also sent her a help message.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're driving, and I also had made a phone call. Nobody was answering, and it was the person at the time that I was talking to. I made a phone call to him because I knew he'd pick up, and he picked up, and I let him listen to everything that was going on. I just had the phone. I told him, hey, like, this just happened. I need to stay on the phone, you know.
So you had your phone on an open line where
It was an open line.
basically he could hear what was happening inside the car.
Correct.
Why did you do that at that point?
Because, again, I was scared, and nobody had answered our calls. This is the only person I knew, just in case.
Yeah.
I don't know what's next. So, anyways, Megan had her leg on me. I still never had looked down at her foot, or if I did, I don't recall seeing her injuries or how damaged or whatever she was. I'm in distraught. So Tory is like demanding, like, shut up, like Kelsey, shut up, you know. And the police, we're driving down the street, and the police, you know, they're coming. The policeman was behind us, but at that point, I don't think they knew this was the vehicle they were looking for. So Quan pulled over, or let them go by, and they went by. And now we're getting to our last, you know, the final moment. Now the helicopter's over the vehicle, and all the cops are behind us, and that's when, you know.
And you can hear that the sirens are going.
Sirens are going.
Is Tory singing?
Pull over. He is. He is. He was saying things just like, please, y'all don't say anything, please. I'm about to sign a big deal or something, and like, I'll give both of you guys $1 million each. And I believe Megan's like, huh? You know, we're like, what? But that was the end of that. I will be very honest. Megan's, I don't know. I feel like they had a conversation either at the driveway or at the bus stop. I don't know where it happened, but she was very calm. Mm-hmm. She wasn't upset. She didn't seem upset with him. I was confused because I'm distraught,
yeah.
You know. But her demeanor was very like, she was okay. Like,
Maybe
I
she's
really
in shock.
Maybe she was in shock. I don't know. I can't really.
Yeah.
I don't know. So now the vehicle's pulled over. The cops are demanding us to get out. I believe they asked Quan to get out first, then Tory, Megan, and then me, if I'm not mistaken.
Was that
came.
scary?
It was very scary, and it's humiliating and
Yeah.
embarrassing. I've never have been to jail, never have been to cuffs, never have been in anything like that. They actually, you can see the TMZ clip, they actually have me spread my legs super wide. You can look at the clip. You know, you can, it's the clip is there. You can hear me like, okay, I'm saying okay. Once they come, I think it was a female officer that put me in cuffs, and I told her, I verbatim, I said, please don't put your knee in my back. This is when George Floyd, that whole situation happened.
This is right after that, or close in time to that?
This is
That's summer,
very,
yeah.
very recent.
Okay.
And she's like, she assured me that it's okay, you know. From there, I guess
You're listening to Street TV.
handcuffed us. We didn't say, you know, I honestly, like I said, my adrenaline was high. If they asked me about injuries, I wasn't really worried about myself at that point. I was worried about Megan, so I didn't even care to speak on myself, which I almost regret. They take Megan. She's sitting on the curb. They have me here on the opposite side, Tory and Quan. And I'm not sure what she did. Well, I now know what was disclosed, but at that point I didn't know. Ferris arrived. By the time he arrived, they were wheeling Megan off, I believe in like a wheelchair or a bed. I can't recall. They put her in the ambulance, and they took us, you know, to...
Did you ride an ambulance with her?
No.
Separate car?
I was in a cop car.
Okay.
I actually went to the jailhouse. And again, I thought that was a normal thing to do. Well, with this situation, I didn't know if I was supposed to be in an ambulance or anything. Like, I don't know the rules. So they took us. They put me in a room. They came in, took pictures, if I'm not mistaken. I honestly don't recall them swabbing my hand for any residue or anything. And
You don't recall it happening, but it could have happened. You just don't remember.
no, I really don't, like, unless, because I don't know how that works, what the swab part is.
Yeah.
I don't even remember them disclosing that they were about to swab me, and I know that I would remember that unless, again, I had very high adrenaline. Maybe that part, I don't believe they swabbed me. Just, that's my knowledge. I know they came in and took pictures. So stayed over. They took us, I guess, to a room. Asked if I wanted to say what happened, and I just did what I know in situations like this from movies and stuff. I just asked for, you know, I was gonna get a lawyer. So the next morning, 8, they released me, and
So it was like 4 hours later about, or that you didn't spend the night at the jail, right?
definitely spent the night. Well, I mean, I was there all night.
It was that same night though.
Oh yes, that
Yeah.
same.
So
that
then
same,
you got released like
that
after
morning.
several hours that morning.
Correct.
Okay.
So
Correct.
when you get released, at some point you make a trip over to the hospital, correct?
So when I get released, they released me and Quan together, and outside of the jail, Quan said he made a comment and was like, "Money talks" or something similar to those words. I don't know.
Did you have him elaborate on that, or did you ask?
No, I didn't ask. I was confused. He also said that Tory was trying to protect me, and I said, "Protect me from what?" He's like, "You'll find out later." Like, everybody was playing mind games with me. I don't know what's going on. His friend, Quan's driver arrived. Her friend arrived, and he was like, "Man, why would, you know?" He was like, "Why would he like?" He was like, "I can't believe he did that." He asked if I was okay. This is Tory's, I think, best friend. I don't know his name, or a friend. They were just all associated.
Yeah.
And he asked if I
You're
was okay.
listening to Street TV.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm still kind of in disbelief and shock. I called Megan's manager, and I was like, "Hey, can somebody come pick me up?" Actually, I texted her security, or I called him, one of the two, and he said, call Jilly. So I called her, or texted. I'll have to go back and see. And she came immediately. I went to her house. She gave me a pair of changed clothes because my clothes were ripped from the altercation. Discarded them in her house. From there, I asked her, like, how was Megan? Can I see Megan? We went to the hospital. I sat outside the hospital. I was not outside the room or anything. I was actually outside, sitting in the car on the street.
Okay.
She said that Megan couldn't have guests. So I thought that was accurate. I thought that was true. And I'm still sitting in the car. I received a call from a jail. Didn't think that it was Tory because I actually knew somebody in jail, and he had called often, and I would answer his call. And so I just thought it was him because it was normal for him to call early or late. So when I answered it, it was Tory. I honestly, I know in that call he did ask where Megan was, and I believe I told him in the hospital. Believe he apologized.
And what do you think he was apologizing for?
I mean, everything that unfolded that night and the incident.
Okay.
That was that. And I mean, I never got to see Megan since then.
Yeah.
You didn't see her at all since she went to the hospital?
No, it was
Did you talk to Megan at least over the phone or by text at some point? After?
later on in text messages. We did talk. She had finally texted me, but this is somebody that I was with for years, day to day, every day. I know her. Like, that was my best friend. I knew her like the back of my hand. I honestly still feel like I know her like the back of my hand. Nothing's really changed. I'm somebody that, I know everything. I'm the first person. Her team's going to make sure I'm right there. Kelsey doesn't leave Megan's side. That's how we operate.
Right.
So when I just, I kept asking, can I see Megan? I actually went back to the house. Can I see Megan? Can I see Megan? I'm still checking for her. Nobody's kind of giving me any information on it. So I kept blowing it off. I was like, okay, maybe I can't have guests.
You're listening to Street TV.
Desiree, RocNation. She told me that Megan was going to be down for a while, almost a year. And I believed it.
What do you mean she's going to be down for a while? What does that mean?
Like injury, out of commission.
Okay.
I believed it. Mind you, I'm at this house. This house is big. I'm by myself. I'm still in shock. I had never even experienced PTSD, but I knew that day when I went back to the house, it was started to hit me.
Yeah.
So I had nobody with me. So I did ask, can I, hey, I might go back, I'm considering going back to Houston while Megan is healing, because they had already told me that she would be down, and they wouldn't let me go see her. So, or they said she couldn't have guests. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to consider going back to Houston until she's healed, and then I also need to go seek, treatment, make sure I'm okay. I had bruises all over me. My body was in pain. My back was hurting, which I disclosed to them. I said, so I'll let you know a date and a time to book my flight. So I actually ended up booking my support to come out to LA to be with me at the house. So I didn't need my flight anymore. But no sooner can I send that text, they had a flight booked for me like 2 hours later. Mind you, Megan had just asked me to get rid of my apartment, so I had like all my stuff there at the house. So me and Desiree Perez, she communicated with me. I said, hey, like I have a flight in 2 hours. No, nobody told me, like, and I don't have, like, what am I supposed to do right here? Like, my stuff. And she tells me that it's best that I find a rental in Houston, or just find a rental. LA is dangerous right now. That house isn't safe to be at, so I was like, okay, so just to be clear, you're telling me I need to move. I need to move after I just made an immediate move down here. Like, mind you, this is all while I'm confused and hurt and like, so I'm having to deal with all this, and I can't even just kind of try to get my mind right. So, so she's like, yes, and I'm like, okay. So I said, well, can you at least rebook my flight for a different date? Like, just let me try to get help to help me move my boxes and stuff. I had heavy stuff. And they said, okay, just let us know what date you want to leave. And the driver that had arrived, we actually were supposed to have, we had other obligations. So a driver just appeared, thankfully. And he actually helped me get all my stuff out of that house. And I went and I booked the hotel. And yeah.
Did Tory try reaching you after the shooting?
He did.
What happened?
So the first call came through Quan, if I'm not mistaken. And he was whispering. And I'm like, who is this? He's like, big head. Stop acting like you don't know who this is. So, I believe those are the words he said.
Big head? What is that?
Big head. I don't know. Like I said, we've never met or like we've never had that. So I think, I don't know.
But you think it was Tory whispering to you on Quan's
No, it
line?
wasn't. It was definitely Quan.
Oh, it was Quan was talking, okay.
Yeah. And basically he was just like, he had our stuff, I guess our suitcases and things had been released to him. And he had our stuff, let's make arrangements to pick it up. And so I was okay to meet with him to pick my stuff up because, like, I have to go back to Houston. Every piece of item that I had, I needed, And he was like, I'm trying to remember his full, I believe that was really it.
And this was, the next day, or when was this?
Honestly, I would have to look back,
Okay.
and it wasn't far from that date.
Yeah.
So, I was trying to thought.
It's okay. It's a long day. You had a life.
Yeah, I know.
So he'd asked you to go pick up, if you wanted to
The
pick up the
suitcases,
stuff.
the
Yep.
suitcases, yes. So, I dropped him, my pin to my hotel. I believe this is the communication with me and the security guard. And I want to make sure I'm being accurate with that.
When you say the security guard, are we talking
Or
about
the
Quan?
driver, Quan. Sorry. I really don't know what the role was. He was
It's okay.
everything.
If it's easier, we can refer to Quan as Quan versus
Okay,
Justin
Quan.
as Meg.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And so he came. He actually asked me to come to a studio location, and I said, no, I don't feel safe doing that. He's like, why? Like, you act like something's gonna happen, and I'm like, I just don't feel safe doing that. We're not friends.
You're listening to Street TV.
When they came, it was Tory Quan, and it was another individual. I don't know who he was. I think he was Caucasian, if I can't remember. Prior to me actually going out to meet with him, I did, I updated my sister and I said, hey, like, just letting you know this is my location. I was still taking safety precautions because I was scared still. And I got in the vehicle. Quan stepped out. Tory was driving. And, I'm not driving. He was on the driver's side. It was parked.
And this is outside of the hotel?
This is outside my hotel. And in that car, he was like, Kelsey, he was very apologetic. Mind you, this is somebody, me, Megan, and him, we were all friends up until that night. Mm-hmm. So although I was scared, and I still was like, let me hear him out. Mm-hmm. This night, it was a night gone bad. Mm-hmm. Alcohol was involved, and I know he regretted it. Mm-hmm. And so he was just apologetic. He said, Kelsey, she attacked me with my artistry. That's what really bothered him, and that's what he put emphasis on. And I said, Tory, but you're wrong. You know, like, you're wrong. I made sure I made him aware that he was wrong.
That what he did was wrong.
What you did was wrong. Like, why would you pull out a gun? Like, none of this is okay. You know? And I told him, you know, I'm not okay right now. Like, my mental state is not okay. I have injuries. Like I'm not, this is not right. You know? I said, Megan is shot. She, you know, or injured, or she's in the hospital.
Did he ever apologize to you?
Tory, he did apologize to me also. And he's just like, you know, he's being very apologetic just for the whole situation. And I'm just like, you need to apologize directly with her also. I didn't know he had. At that point, I didn't know he had sent her messages. Me and Megan hadn't spoken. I'm reaching out, you know, this prior to, I want to rewind. Prior to me even taking that meeting, it was like her team, they were treating me very weird, very strange, and I didn't understand why. I was reaching out to her team, you know, I'm asking them, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm staying in the hotel. And finally, I think I sent, like, a long message, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, me and Megan should be moving as a unit. Like, why am I being kind of pushed out? Y'all told me to move. Where am I supposed to go home to? Mm-hmm. Megan had asked me to get rid of my apartment, and that's what I did. Mm-hmm. You know, I've always had my own things, own stuff, always picked, you know, so she asked me to get rid of it, and I did. And I finally sent, like, a text, and it was just like, this isn't right. And Megan finally had called. I think they kind of sensed, like, Kelsey, you know. Mm-hmm. And she's like, Kelsey, find a place to stay in Houston. I'm going to pay it up for a year. And I said, I said, Megan, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. She said, I'm going to be down for a year. Like, Kelsey, I'm like, I can't walk. And I'm like.
Was the idea when she said she was going to pay for a place for a year, it was a place for also her to call a home base in Houston? No. Okay. It was for you.
For me.
Just because she asked you to move, so she felt responsible that you didn't have a place and wanted to get you a place back in Houston.
Right.
Okay.
I never asked them to give me a spot. They did this voluntarily and for a year, which was not normal, you know, because we're supposed to move as a unit. Mind you, I had also found out that she had left to New York. I guess she caught a jet. So I was just confused. I was very confused. Like, I'm still here in LA and we all are, what's going on?
You felt like you're just in the dark.
I was very much in the dark. The people that I talk to every day and I'm with every day, and I would get immediate updates on anything, had shut me out. I didn't understand why. So anyways, and
let's go back to Tory.
Yeah, I'm about to get right back into that. So anyways, he in to sum it up, he was very apologetic. I told him, you're wrong, like, for what you did, like, this is not okay. And he said, Kelsey, like, what can I do? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What can you do? And I guess his lawyer, Holly, per him, has said that he goes, can I invest in or do you need a job? Do you want to work with me? And I'm like, huh? Why do I need to work with you? Tory, I'm sorry, but no, I don't want any correlation with you. And he said, do you need me to get you a lawyer? And I said, I don't need you to do anything for me, Tory. Like, why do I need you to get me a lawyer?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, can I, what's something that you want? What's something you want to do? Like, do you want to invest into a business? And I'm like, huh? He said, Kelsey, basically, you know what I'm saying. You know, his, per him, Sean Holly advised him to word it that way. And I told him, no, I don't need anything from you. And he's like, okay, well, just think about it and just let me know. And so at the end of that, he asked for a hug. And I said, I didn't want to hug him.
What did you think he was trying to accomplish by making that offer to you?
I don't know if he was just trying to right his wrongs for what he did to all of us and me, of course. I don't want to assume anything, but I mean, I don't know if that was his way of, he don't want to pay directly for injury.
When he offered you all these things, was it over the course of just one conversation, one meeting, or was it the course of like over several texts and phone calls or anything like that?
It was over a course, for sure.
Over texts, phone calls, do you remember?
I believe a phone call, yeah, and phone call and a text.
Do you remember if you still have that text?
When I tell you that phone, I have to go back and literally go through everything. It's like powered off.
Yeah.
You still have that phone?
I do.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So don't delete anything just in case. Go over it.
Okay.
All the things we talked about. You know, when we want to ask you additional questions about it. Now, over the course of like the phone calls or texts, and he's offering you these things, does it occur over several months, or what are we talking about here?
All the way up until I think you guys finally picked up charges on him.
Okay.
And then he stopped reaching out?
Then it stopped.
Okay.
And then you stopped having contact with Meg at some point, right?
So yeah, with Megan, with Megan, yes, she, and I have these text messages also. She asked me. She says, "Kelsey, do you want me to include you in my statement?" Prior to that, she had told me, she didn't want me in the media. And I said, Megan, like, I need you to protect me in this because they're saying that I probably shot you. They see a TMZ clip is circulating. People are threatening me. People are threatening my mom. People are threatening my family.
When was this, would you say?
This was once everything broke onto the internet.
Why was it saying that you shot her?
Because they seen that me and Tory had, I think the article came out that me and Tory were detained and Megan was in the hospital, so it just made it look like...
Oh, I see. The optics were looked like
right.
that.
So then she had texted me, and she was like, "Hey, do you want me to include you in my statement?" And I said, "Please, I would be thankful for that." And I said, I can also get me a statement typed up by my lawyer. At that time, I had got Dawn for my physical injuries that Tory did. So no sooner could I say that, she had already made the post on Instagram. And when she made that post, there was no protection. She just pretty much said that she said that I have the screenshot. She pretty much disclosed events without really disclosing everything. But just as my best friend, she could have said something in the words of like, that would have protected me. She left me in the hot seat with them. After you just texted me and asked if I wanted to be included in the statement, you still put out a statement without me,
What the statement said? What was the gist of that statement?
Can I see my phone?
What she say? Did she say she was shot?
And what she said was, that's the YouTube video she did. I have it, but and I want to verbatim. I want this statement because then this is when everything, all the assumptions against me really begin. She basically had said, I want to find the actual statement. Sorry.
No, take your time.
You're listening to Street TV.
Let me pop out for 1 second, okay? Keep going without me.
Okay. I know I have her statement. Basically, she made an Instagram post. Where is it, Megan? Oh, no. Maybe I'll just have to Google it.
If you get me the gist of the statement too, it's probably something we can find. It's something that she posted.
That's all it is for my sneeze.
Oh no, that's okay.
It was
So
something
the gist of it was that she, no, because the wording, the way that she worded it is very important.
Do you remember? It was an Instagram post.
It was an Instagram post.
that she posted, right?
Statement Instagram. Yeah, I wouldn't have no Wi-Fi. Oh man, that.
I mean,
that
I know that
statement-
there was a long-winded, not long-winded, but a longer statement that was posted on Instagram.
There's a
from
few.
Meg about it, yeah.
Yeah. And come on, I know I have it. Okay, right here.
Okay.
So,
We found the statement.
Okay.
do you want me to read the full statement?
Sure. Well, if you want to talk about specifically what part of the statement.
So basically her statement, mind you, again, this was immediately after she asked if I wanted to be included in her statement. And I said yes, because that would protect me, at least put me in a position where people know I didn't do nothing to her. She said the narrative that's being reported about Sunday morning's events are inaccurate, and I'd like to set the record straight. On Sunday morning, I suffered gunshot wounds as a result of the crime that was committed against me and done with intention to physically harm me. I was never arrested. The police officers drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive and that I'm expected to make a full recovery. But it was important for me to clarify the details about this traumatic night. I'm currently focused on my recovery so I could turn back to my life and back to making music. And her caption was, I was never arrested. This whole experience was an eye-opener and blessing in disguise. I hate that it took this experience for me to learn how to protect my energy. So when she did that, mind you, people had already knew me. We were together. People had seen us, celebrating I had just came back and to LA. So she had made a post celebrating me. And so the public automatically realized she didn't include me in that statement, and they began to tag me, and like you shot Megan, and people kept, you're going to jail. I hope you rot in jail and die. They were saying all kinds of crazy things. So I made it, I'm not an experienced, she has a team. I didn't really, so I made a little post, and I said, I want to clear up the rumors that I shot Megan. I want to clear up the rumors that I shot Megan. I was not the one with the gun, and I would never do something like that. But I was present. I don't know if that was the best thing to say, but she was like, Kelsey, why would you say that? And I said, what do you mean? Like, you're not protecting me, like I have to say something. And she's like, that's not the way to say things. And I'm like, well, what's the way to say things? Because you tell me you don't want me to speak on it, and then now you're telling me this isn't the way. Like, what's the way? Like, let me know the way.
So it seems like there was discord, if you want to call it that, between you and Megan about how the information was coming out. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. That's very fair. And so,
You're listening to Street TV.
So, I'm like, I don't know anything but the truth, Megan. And she's like, so I'm upset. I'm upset because she didn't clear my name. Like, that's my main reason with Megan. She never protected me, never defended me. She made this all about her, like as if I didn't suffer with her. So it put me in a seat with the bad guys,
Yep.
Never not once cleared my name. Mind you, she had no reason to be upset with me because at that time she did not know that I had met with Tory. She didn't know this, so she had no reason to treat me anyway or.
That meeting with Tory was innocent anyways, right? It was to get your property back.
Right.
And
to
you
get my
turned
property
down his
back.
requests.
And exactly, there's no ill intent.
Right.
I can be very truthful. I have nothing to hide. all these things, like, it's going to come out when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm not here to get on the internet and tell every detail.
Yeah.
That's what she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
So, you know, we went back and forth a little bit in text messages, and I can share those messages too. You know, I'm getting threats. So
When you're getting threats, are you talking about from the public?
I'm getting threats from the public. I have been approached in person.
By people in public?
Mm-hmm. That's why, like, I've honestly been in isolation since this has happened. Events that I had to attend just because they were paid, and sometimes, like, it takes me out. Like, you can ask him. It takes me like an hour or more to get out the car before I go into somewhere, because I don't know what people think of me. People think I took hush money. People think, because this is what she's put out there. And it's like, even though this guy is the bad guy, I guess, she has done a lot of damage to me by what she does on the internet.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, it's not fair because I didn't betray her. So, anyways, so she was like, she had demanded me to finally get on the internet. Kelsey, I need you to get on Instagram and say this. Say what happened to you and say what happened to me. By that time, I had got Don, my lawyer, and he told me, no, you're not playing social media games. She's not pressing charges. Because, like I said...
This was before the case, he'd been
Right.
arrested for filed on the case, yeah.
Right. Mind you, her manager had her disclose to me that she was not going to press charges on him or anything. So I thought it was okay. Like, you know, like, she's not mad at him, whatever. But it wasn't until she believes, per her, Tory's team was putting out statements through social media, making her seem like a drunk, making her seem all these things. That's what upset her. And that's what finally made her get on Instagram. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be here
And put
today.
out the truth about that her getting shot. Okay.
Correct. So, so she demanded that I get on Instagram and do the same. And my lawyer said no. He said, no, you're not doing social media games. He's not pressing charges. So you don't have to be involved in that.
Yeah.
We're handling your situation now.
Yeah.
You let her handle hers the way she wants, and we're going to handle this how I advise you to. So I informed her of that. She said, Kelsey, that's bullshit. You got a lawyer now? Like, that's bullshit. She didn't believe me. And, you know, at this point, I'll have to go back to the dates, but I have finally, you know, told her, I said, Megan, I need to tell you, I need to talk to you. And I disclosed to her that I spoke with Tory. And she was like, he's just trying to play with you. Like, he's just trying to play you. And so finally, after I told her I wasn't getting on the internet, she was like, well, how could you meet with somebody? And, you know, and I said, Megan, like, you know, I'm trying to obtain, I have the messages. I can, like I said, I can provide when I go back to my phone. So she thought I was lying. She said there was bullshit. Like, oh, now your lawyer's telling you don't do this. That's bullshit. So I'm like, you're reaching out to me. I'm realizing this is disingenuous. It's not genuine. We're pretty much going back and forth, and I'm telling her, like, I'm still speaking to her. She's like, how are you arguing with me in private? I said, this isn't an argument. This is a conversation.
Yeah.
We're having a conversation.
You're listening to Street TV.
So finally, I believe we stopped communicating, and then she took it to Instagram Live, and she made a video. And this video just added more fuel to the fire. She's on there, and she's like, I wouldn't, for no amount of money, would I change on, she made it seem as if I had took hush
Tory's money.
Correct.
Okay.
So I sent her a text, and I said, I don't know why you're bashing me on the internet. I said, I'm not sure why you're bashing me on the internet. I know you're hurt, and I'm also hurt. I said, but my intentions are to never, go on the internet and bash you. Mm-hmm. She didn't acknowledge it. She kept on with her internet. They were just trying to make me break on Instagram, on social media.
Yeah.
Come out and finally just blast everything. It took a lot for me to not do it. She had her friends you know, they were saying things on the internet. Oh, you took hush money. That's how you got your chain. I had got a pendant that has my dad's death day on it. Mind you, this pendant had already been purchased way before. It just finally became ready around this time, in August of that year. This pendant was purchased like in March, April, May, July of 2020 or June 2020
Okay.
or before that. So her friend, you know, and we were all friends, so I know how Megan operates. This was basically something she approved for her to post. Oh, now you're delusional, you stupid bitch. Yeah, you must have took that hush money. That's how you got your little chain. It was a lot of evil things in that message. And
So it sounds like your friendship completely.
oh, it was over. So if you ever thought I was now going to get on the internet and say anything to you, that's over.
Well, so, I mean, this is a question that's going to be asked when trial comes around, and it's a question we want to ask you just so that we can clear the air on this. You know, are you telling us what happened in that night, as you tell us now? Are you telling all of this to protect her or to get back in her good graces?
Oh, not at all. My purpose of me speaking my truth is just to... I know this is obviously it's like a never-ending thing, but I just want to free myself from this.
Yeah.
I tried to free myself a long time ago, but every time you turn around, she's making a song about me, making a diss track about me, talking about me. And see, that's the other thing that people don't understand. They think that we fell out behind Tory. It's not true.
It had nothing to do with that.
I'm not mad at her. I mean, of course, now it's like, damn, like my best friend that how could you do that to me?
Yeah, this is all because of the aftermath of the shooting
Exactly.
and how it was presented.
That's why I'm so upset, because one, you didn't protect me.
Yeah.
Two, y'all were on the internet doing all this. Three, you called around Houston telling people that I took hush money and not to talk to me. Like, you're really trying to make people not like me. You know what I'm saying? For what? I was really a good friend to her.
So you think she was really upset that you wouldn't put out a statement to back her up on the internet, and then she felt that the only reason you would do that is because Tory paid you off. When in reality, your lawyer was advising you not to do it.
And she knows that because my lawyer also made contact with her lawyer at the time, Alex Ferris, and asked for her to stop. And they said, well, why won't she get on it? Why won't she make a statement, you know? And he told her, well, your client's not pressing charges. My client doesn't want no involvement.
So my other question to you, and again, I think this is something that will be asked on the road, is once the case was filed, I know we didn't get to talking to you until today.
Right. I just didn't want to.
Why don't you tell us
I just didn't want to be involved. I didn't want to voluntarily put myself in a situation, and this girl's not backing me up at all. She's not here for me. She has made it real hard for me in real life. You know, why? You're not protecting me. You're not doing nothing for me. Like, let them let y'all do what y'all have to do. You know, I'm never running away from it or you know, I'm ready for the facts to come out, you know, and
that's the way this should go. Not on social media, not piecemeal.
Not on social media. She has done a lot. She had made a dish. I'm not a person that likes to do the social media back and forth, but this has made me do it, and I hate that because that's not my character.
Yeah.
Mind you, I have run a business, so I can't just always do things like that. Like, sometimes I don't even like to go around people because I don't know how they feel about me. Sometimes I don't even present myself as Kelsey because, oh, you're the girl that took hush money. Like, I've had people come up to me, right? I don't go to grocery stores. I've been to a dollar store and got pinned in a corner. People come up to me, you took hush money. Like, she has made it real difficult. And why?
Yeah.
I didn't betray you.
Yeah.
She's putting the word out that I betrayed her. That's not true. It was obviously the other way around. But
this trial will be an opportunity for everybody to speak their truth.
To finally speak the truth. And that's what I'm happy for. And that's the other thing. Like, you know, now I'll be able to really open up and help the public because now they're involved. Understand why me and Megan are friends. She's not going to hold herself accountable. She doesn't ever hold herself accountable to things.
And Tory needs to be held accountable.
And he needs to be held accountable too. Both of them. And like I said, we could have went home that night.
Yeah.
We were on our way home. But she demanded the driver to take us back. And it wasn't because of a sandal. Tory was with Kylie still.
Yeah.
That's the real reason. She had, and I forgot to even throw that part in. That just made me remember. She had tried to get me mad. She was like, Kelsey, he wants to stay with Kylie. I'm like, okay,
Like,
let him stay with Kylie.
That didn't bother you at all.
No, I was way past this person.
Yeah.
Megan had actually
You're listening to Street
asked
TV.
me, Kelsey, I just want, can you and Tory, like, she wanted me on him, like, to talk to him. And then she was like, Kelsey, I want y'all to just keep it as friends because we might do business and I don't want that to interfere, and I respected it.
Yeah.
I'm not a person that's like, oh, no, I respected it.
Yeah.
And we just kept the friendship, and that's it.
Okay.
But now when I look back at everything, it was other reasons involved.
Okay.
So no, I wasn't just like, me and Tory's involvement has nothing to do with that night. It came out because he obviously tried to throw her under the bus and turn me against her.
Right.
That was not the issue.
He was working the social media side as well.
I don't know how true. I mean, I don't know, but probably so.
Yeah.
They were putting out false narratives. Oh, Kelsey was bitter that night. And the other thing is, I don't know, like, my truth brings in Kylie Jenner, and I don't know if they disclose these things. I don't think they want to because it's better to say Kelsey was the bitter best friend versus saying Megan was upset that Tory and Kylie, it's just more better, right? Okay, well, if I have to be the bitter best friend, fine, but there's still no right for all of this to be going on.
Okay.
And then with Megan, it makes sense now because she told you guys that the argument started between me and him, if I'm not mistaken, and that's false. So now I know that I was pushed out because she did not tell the truth initially. Put it on me, which is fine, but I feel like that should have been a mutual thing. Like, Kelsey, I need you to just say this instead of just blaming me. That's not right. So,
I think there's a lot of things that not everyone is privy to. When the trial concludes and when everyone testifies, there's certainly a lot of things that have been kind of leaked piecemeal out there, and some things are absolutely not true. Some things that I think still doesn't give everyone the whole picture of everything. I would say, just like everyone else, you always want to reserve any conclusions you have about what the people are saying. Even Meg, I know it's hard, but wait till the end of the trial, and then you'll get a sense of where everyone's at, and then
This is the opportunity for everybody. They're going to take an oath to tell the truth, and they're going to give their full.
I don't even think they'll tell the truth under oath.
Well, as long as we just when you're up there,
I mean, I'm telling. I have nothing to hide or lie about, even if it's something that makes me look bad.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I understand why it's hard for you to, when you hear some of the stuff that Megan might say, to feel offended by some of the things that she's not including. But I'll say that, like I said, wait till the end of the trial. There's a lot of things that she's told us that's not out there. Okay? And just like everything you're telling us, it's not just going to be out there. That's the hope, certainly.
How does this work? Because...
Well, how it works is we are under a discovery protective order. So the discovery in this case, interviews of witnesses, any evidence in this case is disclosed only to the parties that need to know, which is prosecution and the defense. So there's always stuff that gets leaked a little bit. Some of it's there's a grain of truth, but there's other stuff that's not included. A lot of other stuff that's not included, and that's deliberate because this case has to be tried in court, and that's it.
Excuse me, should we further this conversation on or off record?
That's fine. This is just to explain the discovery protective order, so it's fine.
My other concern was I'm somebody who is very accessible because my business, like what I do, it involves me to be involved, So that was my other thing, is just like this. I don't know how concerned anybody else is, but for my safety, I'm very concerned.
Okay, and we'll have a discussion about safety concerns off the record because we have to go into more details about your lifestyle or things like that. We have to make accommodations or figure things out. That's something we'll do off the record, okay? But I think for your purposes, just so you know, we are in the home stretch. It doesn't seem like that because it's been going on for so long, but we are, and all the truth will come out from every witness in this case to some degree. And so I think, you know, I know you have strong feelings about what happened, as you should, and everything you've said to us today makes sense. I think, you know, we want to make sure that there's some resolution for everyone involved, you included, not just Meg. Hopefully, you know,
You're listening
the
to
jury
Street TV.
sees the evidence, and hopefully there's accountability with respect to Tory, but we want resolution for everyone involved, including you, okay? But that won't happen until after the trial's done.
It's understandable. I'm just ready to move forward and
Kelsey, and
still
let me
fight
just
through the
say
media.
we're so appreciative that you came out today and that you spoke to us. And I know it was hard to dig up these memories, but I appreciate, you know, you wanted to be accurate and you wanted to get everything right, and you're taking this very seriously.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't think Megan knows, like, I never not wanted to not tell the truth, you know? But she has made it so hard for me.
well, and the best time to do that is at
It's
the
right
trial.
here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or yeah, like, social media.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Don. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don.
When does the trial schedule start and take call?
So I think we're going to conclude the interview because we're going to discuss scheduling at this point. So anything else that you want to ask about the incident date?
No, I have no other questions about that. So I think we can.
I'll just note the time is being
Yes, it is 12:58 p.m.
All right.
Are we now off the record?
I'm just,
Okay.
we got to confirm. Oh,
Stand by. I'm going to step out to ensure that this recording is off, but you're welcome to further conversation, okay?